weaponized for racism. Is she really being weaponized for racism?
I think a lot of white people go, she's getting picked on because she's white.
I feel like I understand what you're saying, where she could have utilized this opportunity to really create a line in the sand of this is where I stand.
She
And
did.
if well,
She did that.
So Caitlyn Clark says is disappointing that her name is being weaponized for racism. People shouldn't use my name to push those agendas.
When just to ask you directly, when people use your name for racism, misogyny, whatever, what is your response to that specifically?
Yeah, I think it's disappointing. I think, everybody in our world, deserves the same amount of respect. The women on our league deserve the same amount of respect. So people should not be using my name to push those agendas. It's disappointing. It's not acceptable. But yeah, I mean, this league is the league I grew up admiring and wanting to be a part of. Like, some of the women in this league were my biggest idols and role models growing up and helped me want to achieve this moment right here that I get to play in every single night. So just treating every single woman in this league with the same amount of respect, I think is just a basic human thing that everybody should do. Like, just be a kind person and treat them, how you would want to be treated. And I think it's, very simple.
Weaponized for racism. Is she really being weaponized for racism?
So that's the thing. I wasn't sure about that. I saw this being used, and a lot of people in the chat,
I think a lot of
saying like, it's for fans.
I think a lot of white people go, she's getting picked on because she's white. I think a lot of white people say that.
I feel like whoever made this question for her, I think it was supposed to be some sort of like clickbaity situation. I don't know, because I hear what you're saying. I just don't see it. Not yet. Like if I see, like, I've been seeing certain things so far about Angel Reese, and Angel Reese would say, like, I guess would insinuate or say certain things that says, like Caitlyn Clark. Basically, it sounds like she's kind of jealous.
Yo, buddy, Jamel Hill saying she has white privilege is kind of being weaponized for racism.
Okay, I feel you, but at the same time, when I hear weaponized for racism, I hear that the WNBA, all the girls, all these black women need to stop jumping on Caitlyn Clark.
They say that too.
Oh, if they say that, that's a different story for me. Like, when I hear weaponized for racism, it's kind of like they use her name and say white power, white power, white power.
That's
but
crazy.
Not really say
that would be wild if they did that.
But no, they say it subliminally. Like, they say it within their talking points, and just saying like she's being G-checked because she's a new player. I don't think she's being G-checked because she's white, but I agree with that concept. Yes. And the same thing with Angel Reese, but like, I feel like we're teetering on the fact that she is being weaponized for racism when we start making comparisons between Angel Reese. Like, there's a comment in one of our videos where someone was saying, like, this girl need to learn how to speak. She doesn't know how to speak. She's ghetto, or whatever the case may be. Caitlyn Clark, on the other hand, she's so eloquent in her speech, and like, making these kind of like that's being weaponized. Like, you're weaponizing. You don't even know what AAVE is. You don't know where she's from. You don't understand the concept behind that. Look at our past videos when we talked about how Angel Reese is ghetto, and then come back to this video and then see what that's all about. But at the end of the day, like, Caitlyn Clark came from a different neighborhood than Angel Reese, and she has a certain vernacular that now all of a sudden she has to hide because she's a professional player. No, that in of itself, I feel like that's the weaponization happening for real.
I feel like you got to give Caitlyn Clark a little credit here, though. Like she's speaking out. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of white people speak out like this. She's speaking and she's talking to her fans, right? Like, if she's saying she's disappointed that her name is being weaponized for racism, she's talking to the white folk, right? That are like, they're picking on her because she's white. She's not rookie of the year #1 because she's white. whatever, because she's white. She's talking to those people because no one's going the opposite way with it.
Right.
Yeah. And you got to give her credit for speaking out. You know what I'm saying? She's young. This is her first year in the league. She's nipping it in the bud at her first year in the league. She's like, don't. I'm not here for the race baiting. Don't put me in there. That's kind of dope.
But yeah, I feel like her biggest thing was that like I love the sport, you know, like I'm finally here. I looked up to so many women that are in this league, and I'm finally where, you know, I wanted to be. I'm not here for all of the other stuff, you know. So she did say that, and a lot of people in the comments were constantly saying like, it's not her, it is her fans, and those are the people that are taking this and turning it into something else. That type of.
But I kind of want to say this: what utilizing your white privilege looks like, is a little bit kind of like not just only saying, all right, I'm not here for the race bait. It's more so like I'm here not only for the race bait, but if anybody is being disrespected, that is black, I'm separating myself from you.
She can't separate herself from people she don't know.
Yes, she can.
How?
She can separate by making that distinction. But I'm not. But by making that distinction, she could say, if you are saying this, and this, I do not consider you a fan of mine. I don't consider that. Like, if you rock with me, but at the same side, you're saying these things about Angel Reese, or saying these things about these black people or my teammates, then you are not. Then you are not a fan of mine at all. Now the people can say all they want. I'm a fan of Caitlyn Clark. I've known her since the beginning, but turn around and say all of that stuff. There'll be a recording saying that she is against that, and if you're still for that, you're not a fan of that.
She's saying that here.
So this is why I'm teetering on whether or not. See, like, I feel like you're bringing it out of me. Like, I'm like. Like, I feel like you're bringing it out of me. I feel like the reason why, like, you're talking. This is what you're good at.
You're talking. But, I'm just responding to you. She's saying it.
This is what I learned. This is also what I learned at work today. You're really good at these things.
You learned. They talked about me.
That's a manipulator. I can see through your lies. But
you don't have to answer me, by the way. But I'm just saying, this is what she said.
If I don't answer, it'll lead to airtime, like, being not utilized. That's why I'm answering back. Mm-hmm. I disagree. I say that she left an opening for her to be like, okay, whatever. That's not my agenda. Okay, cool, not your agenda. That's a politically correct way to say things. But
she's disappointed that people use her name in race conversations. That is legitimately what she doesn't want her name to be brought up.
Just because she's disappointed doesn't mean that she's using. Okay, this is the thing. I do not, because I know people in the comments are gonna come at my life. Yeah, I just don't think that she did something that I'm not saying she didn't do enough. I'm just saying I don't think this is what you're calling it.
I feel like I understand what you're saying, where she could have utilized this opportunity to really create a line in the sand of, this is where I stand.
She did.
She
did that.
I partially agree with Martin, where she said, I'm disappointed.
Y'all would have hated Martin Luther King. Y'all would have hated that man. This is what she did. She put up, this is a line. Y'all realize she could have just kept playing basketball and never addressed it at all?
Yeah, she could have.
You're absolutely right. Which probably most people in her position would, You know, like in all honesty, probably most people in her position would do that. But I can see what Martin is saying about like, and by the way, a message to anyone who is intending to do that or trying to do that. I'm not only disappointed, I stand against you. That type of, like that type of thing. However, I I do think it's worth giving some grace to her, because it's not like people just go to classes on how to do this the right way. You know what I mean? And they're like educated on this or anything like that, really. And then also she
They
is
used
just
to. It's
coming.
called diversity training, and that's what the Republicans are trying to get rid of. But continue.
Wow. Do they have that in the WNBA?
They might not.
They might not have it in the WNBA.
It's not like everybody gets diversity training.
Yeah, it's not a class it's not a prerequisite as
I
is
mean,
what I'm saying.
I mean, I get that. I understand that, but I'm just saying that that is available for people who want to know more about diversity and what to do. And
Yeah.
if you don't want to know more about it, then you don't have to look. You're not going to look it up.
No, yeah, you're right. It's if you don't see it as a priority, you're not going to make it a priority, and that's true. She could have absolutely done that, but we're talking about a girl that just came out of college. I'm not about to put like,
Who
you
should
know.
have had some diversity class? All right, I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah,
Continue
but
what
I
you're saying.
feel I
I
feel
feel you.
like
I feel you. I feel you. I feel you.
yeah, but I
She
feel like
didn't do
at that
anything.
point it
Verse.
ignores.
She hasn't done anything.
Right,
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she,
You're right. You're right, bro.
She
but
hasn't
I
done
get it.
anything.
I feel like we're on the same page now.
no,
She
but
just,
I
she just
do.
made herself look good. It's cool.
Yeah, I do feel like you don't paint it in a negative light though. Like I don't think
I'm
it's painted
not.
in.
I'm not.
Yeah, that was
She is doing
I
what
know
she's
your
doing for her
tones.
she's doing what she's doing. No, I'm sorry, maybe it was the wrong tone, but she's doing okay, let me just put this out.
Yeah,
She's doing what she's doing for her image, which is a good thing.
that
You
is true.
want to have a good image
You don't know that.
for little for the younger generation. I don't know. You're right. I don't know. I don't
It
know
could
what's
come from
her
her heart.
intention. Maybe it did came from her heart.
It could.
Whatever. It could have. I'm just saying for what if we were to look like when I talk about diversity training, I know that this isn't what she wanted it to be. If it's I'm allying with black people with the black women of WNBA, that's not it. Though it is a beginning, it's a start. It's something that we can continue to look towards and be like, okay, I see Caitlyn as somebody that is, and that's what I mean by the image. Like, I'm for everybody. I'm not for, I'm not for this, that, and the third or whatever. But if she took it up a notch, I'd be like, okay, we cooking with grease right now. So yeah, I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Caitlyn Clark or what she's doing. I think it's a start. I think it is good for her image. I feel like people are going to look at that and be like, "Wow, that's an upstanding thing." She just does upstanding stuff. Like that's just
after you make this point, we have to move on.
That's what she does. But yeah, yeah. I feel like I'm just repeating myself, and I apologize. I just think that I know that there's more that can be done.